to Ideas All Day, a podcast where we, not experts, come up with ideas and then place them into piles, such as a good pile, an ideas pile, and bad ideas pile. Let's do some intros. The best shoguns I've ever seen, Ajax.
And Richard Chamberlain.
Fitness, more like fitting this whole pizza in my mouth, Alex.
May the Dairy Queen bless you and all this glorious day.
And the best calves in the business, me, Kate. Hi.
Two boys.
Kate, two boys. To reiterate the not being experts part, in this episode, we're going to be discussing some exercise stuff. So we want to make sure our listeners know that we are definitely not experts. And if you are going to partake in any new fitness or exercise activities, you should definitely check with your doctor first.
And stretch beforehand. Warm up, cool down.
Turn it all around.
And don't forget to hydrate.
And if you hurt yourself, rice.
Rest, ice, compress, elevate, rice.
Nope, I'm going to have some rice in a little, maybe some like soy sauce maybe.
Maybe some rice-a-roni.
Like the San Francisco treat.
Indeed.
Okay, so today we're talking about great things in working out.
So
Home
either
gyms.
improving upon already existing home gyms or creating a new type of home gym. So that is our topic.
To start off our topic for today of gyms and home workout equipment, at the barn, there is a barn. And in that barn is a little workout area. It's a place I like to go sometimes. It has an air conditioner in it, so it's nice to have that in there when it's a really hot day because the barn is almost the same temperature, if not hotter, than the outside typically. Since I have this room, one of the things that I was thinking about doesn't really pertain to the room itself, but to a workout apparatus that you don't always think of as one. I was thinking of carrying around a 1-gallon water jug, and that will be my weight to carry around for the day, and also to use as my hydrating capabilities. You're bound to get some workout by carrying that around all day, and also staying hydrated as well. So that's my first idea in my workout category.
Would you do specific exercises with that jug? Like squats, triceps, curls?
Yeah, I feel like if I was carrying around the water jug, I'll be more apt to do a workout activity rather than not.
Okay.
Because I already have it in my hand. And I'm already carrying it around everywhere. What else am I going to do? Some squats, because sometimes it's heavy to lift a 1-gallon water jug all day. And you're like, I got to keep my mind off of my hands. So
my math could be completely wrong, but I think 1 gallon of water is 4 pounds, 8 pounds? 8 pounds. So it's not like baby weight. It's
not baby weight.
It's not baby weight.
All right, idea number 2. There is a pole in the room because I enjoy pole fitness. It is a fantastic pastime that I like to endeavor upon. And since it's been really hot this past summer, it's kind of hard for me to stick on the pole since the pole is made out of metal. And when you get too sweaty, you sort of just slide down the pole because sweat is slippery. In order to help me counteract the really hot, slippery pole, I would like a pole cooler. Kate has graciously knit me a pole warmer, and I was thinking that's fantastic for the winter time, but what would be good for the summertime would be a pole cooler. So I could inject either cool material through the inside of the pole or maybe an air conditioning unit at the top of the pole that could blow cool air down to help channel the cool air so I'm not as hot and sweaty for when I'm on the pole. So that's my idea number 2. My idea number 3, a lot of times you look on the internet, either learning from your fellow friends who teach pole classes, or you see a cool move on the Instagrams that you want to do, or hey, you want to take some classes online. It is really hard to see your screen on your phone to be able to tell what's happening on there because it depends on where the person's standing. The lighting might be funky. you don't know the situations of the video. And I'm older, so I need to look closer to my phone in order to make out what's actually happening on the screen. What I would like for the room would be a projector to set up so I can project a larger image of what's happening on video onto the wall in the poll room so I can see what people are doing a little bit bigger in size. So they're not on a tiny little screen. They're projected onto the wall. So that's my other idea.
For your first idea of the gallon water jug, I'm going to put this in the ideas pile simply because people kind of already do that already, but I don't think they really utilize the water jug as a fitness tool. I think they just want to drink a lot of water. And as someone who is really, really, really bad at drinking water, I think this would help me drink more water. It would be interesting to see if you could develop some sort of fitness routine with the water jug, and depending on what kind of water jug you're using. Because if you're using one without a handle compared to one with a handle, or if you even went a little bit further and did a water jacket. You ever see those weighted jackets, but with a camelback?
Oh, that
Incorporate
fancy.
it.
I was thinking of that exactly.
That would be
that'd be awesome. Actually,
that would be like an interesting take on incorporating.
And you can wear it.
Yeah, you can wear it.
It's like a water vest.
It's a water vest.
Oh, I like that.
I don't know how cleaning it would be, but yeah, I'll put this in the ideas pile. I think there's a few logistics that need to be worked out. Simply just telling people to carry a gallon of water around is probably a great start, because I think people in general are horribly dehydrated. Just even that kind of leans it towards the good idea. I just wanted a little bit more direction with the idea to really push it in the good ideas pile. For your pool cooler, I'm going to put this in the ideas pile, leaning towards bad idea. If you're going to cool down this pole, all I can think about is that scene from A Christmas Story where the kid gets his tongue stuck on the pole. And if you get your armpit stuck on the pole, you get your thigh stuck on the pole, I can only imagine the type of pain that would be. So if you're going to use something like a coolant inside of the pole, getting the coolant in and out of the pole might be a problem. If you use like Freon, that's going to make the pole super cold, and that's where you would have that Christmas Story effect. I feel like the air conditioner, I don't know if that would really prevent you from sweating. That might work out better. That would go in the ideas pile, not towards the bad ideas. But I feel including an actual coolant inside of the pole will not only create like the Christmas Story effect, but also whenever you have like a cold drink in a metal container, what does it do?
Condensate.
So you're kind of running into the same sweaty pole problem. So it's an idea. Improvements could be made.
We might need an engineer.
Your projector, I feel like we could do that idea this weekend. So since it's a doable idea, and I think it's an idea that people haven't really thought of on their own, so to speak, for fitness purposes. So I would put that in the good ideas pile, and I'll bring my projector this weekend, and we'll work that out.
Lovely. Alex?
For the water jug idea, I'm putting in the ideas pile, but leaning a little bit more on the bad side, because I love the hydration part. I agree totally with Kate. Hydration is important. The issue I've got with it is, let's say you are doing what you're supposed to. One, if you have a single jug, you're weighing down one side, you're off-centered. Number two, as you drink it, the weight gets smaller. Yes, you're hydrated, but the weight becomes less effective. Versus if it was like a camelback or a vest or like a weighted one. So yeah, even if you do drink water, you still have additional weight on you. That may get lighter, but still.
Drinking the water to make the weight lower is a motivator to drink the water. Because if you're sitting there doing squats and you're like, oh God, this sucks. This is so heavy. How do I make this less heavy? Oh, I'll drink more. I see like the downside and the plus side. If you're using this specifically just for fitness, I agree with your point. But if you're using it as a holistic, healthy way, then I sort of disagree. So depending on the intention of the water container.
I'm going with the topic in hand is home exercise equipment to improve it. So it serves a dual purpose. It's meant, in my mind, the way you described it, seemed like it meant a dual purpose, where it has the weight, but also you hydrate. Am I wrong?
Has the weight and you hydrate. That's like the tagline right there.
Yeah. which
To
is
the
why
water jug workout.
Exactly.
Which I
is
liked
why-
it when Kate added the workout regime.
Yeah. Again,
Woohoo.
nothing wrong with it. I wish if the jug is the issue, not the water. Like that one-sided large way, it's like even 2 jugs I'd feel better about, because then you just take a drink out of one of each. I'd have to go idea, but leaning toward a little bit more to the bad. On to the pole cooler, or the pooler as I like to think of it.
The pooler.
I would say idea, but leaning on the good. I think it's a good idea. The condensation was an excellent point. It was one I was thinking of. I was thinking, though, if instead of using Freon or something like that, more of like either a radiant like heating system where the ground is usually 60. It means you got to drive the pole longer, but because it's usually like 60 degrees in the ground, cooler than a 90-degree air.
So
But-
like an Earth ship.
Or a geothermal system.
Yeah, radiant heating is considered geothermal. Exactly. So
I
I'm
like
thinking
it.
of like keeping it 60 degrees. It's all natural, so no harsh chemicals. It's just more so. I think it's water they use that pumps it around, but you may not. You may just have to keep like water in the thing that it with the so it doesn't rust with a liner that just maybe has a little like an aerator in there. Maybe so. I don't know. Again, not an engineer.
Engineering.
We're not
Um,
experts.
And we don't claim to be. Other than that, I think it's a great idea, because my only other idea was throwing flour on it, like when you're on a cutting board to prevent sticking. Other than that, I like the idea. Just like as long as you can avoid the condensation, I think it would do a great job. The projector's just a straight good idea. Like I have even no complaints. It's just like it's a straight good idea, can be easily done, attainable. It does what it sets out to do. It's doable, it makes sense, and it's achievable. All good things, done and done.
Okay.
And after you're done with your workout, you can do shadow
Exactly.
puppets, which, I think is something that is a lost art nowadays and really needs to come back.
Will you come over and do shadow puppets on my wall?
Of course.
Aw.
Perfect. Shadow puppet workout.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, that's my stuff.
Woohoo.
Now, as someone who barely exercises ever, I'd like to think I have the best perspective on how to create or improve upon machinery that I would never use. Now, one of my biggest hangups about like going to the gym or exercising in general is I find the gym or exercising in general just to be very useless. Not that you're not getting healthier, not that you're not improving on anything of yourself. You take a treadmill. You're running in spot all day. In the same spot, you're doing nothing other than using up energy. There's no gain that's the real world besides physical fitness. Not that that's not important. I'm not putting down anyone who goes to the gym or does it because they're improving themselves, and that's a wonderful thing. But for me, I need some outcome, something I can take away from it that improves upon it. So some of these are kind of based around that idea. And the first one are my Jazzercise brush shoes.
Jazzercise
Yes.
brush shoes?
Yes. All 3 of those words. So what it is, because one, first and foremost, that Jazzercise never got enough credit for what it did back in the 80s. It was popular. It got people moving. There was music and dancing. So why not combine that with floor cleaning? So you can Jazzercise through the kitchen or on your hardwood floors, buffing them up, sweeping up whatever you want, like whatever model you want to use, while Jazzercising at the same time. Make it a dual purpose event. Not only are you getting more physically fit, you're saving time because you're, multitasking. And I'm all about multitasking and efficiency.
Doing 2 things at once.
Exactly. And nothing says efficiency like Jazzercise. If they got it right the first time we moved away, the 80s had it right the first time. That's why we're all coming back to it. The 80s is coming back. Well, it did now the 90s come out. But still, you're getting the point.
Got it.
Now, second idea. As we all know about the shake weight, it is a very well-known, it does its job for what it's meant to do with no negative or secondary implications of what it's for. But my thought is, why not make it also a battery charger? With this motion that you do for the shake weight, what's another tool that is often used that has a similar function?
Dildo.
Really?
What was it?
Ajax said dildo, and I said, really?
No, a flashlight that is self-charging. In those flashlights, you have a magnet that goes up and down a tube that you shake, so it generates power and lights off the flashlight. You're doing the same exact motion with a shake weight. Why not put a magnet in there and then put some lithium-ion batteries in that so it can charge them? So not only are you exercising, you're creating energy and charging your batteries. For my third piece of equipment, now again, as someone who doesn't exercise, sometimes if I have to be forced to do so, I feel that I need motivation. And also as a psychologist, we all know about reinforcement. We have positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive punishment, negative punishment, the 4 criteria of operant conditioning. My thought is I'm all about positive punishment. So what better way to do it than an exercise shock collar? It's set for a certain amount of exercise because, we're all supposed to get 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week of moderate exercise. If you have this doctor prescribed shock collar that is set to 20 minutes of exercise, so it has to be able to sense your motion while you're doing your exercise. And if you stop during that 20 minutes, except at predetermined rest periods as part of the timing, because it is important to hydrate and rest, it will shock you until you start moving again. So it keeps you motivated because obviously you don't want to get shocked. And the more you do it, the less you're going to get shocked. And then eventually when the positive side of things come up, when you get, your endorphin levels start running, you may actually not need the collar more because you enjoy the exercise. You enjoy the activity. As they say, no pain, no gain. For my last idea, it is about encouragement. Have you seen those internet videos, like encouragement videos? Like the fisherman who just says, you can do it. Don't give up. Or you need to see it. If you're not sure, to the listeners out there, Matsusuko Shuzu. It's a very short video, 35 seconds long. It's a fisherman in the water, and he is just the most positive force in this world. And he will encourage you, and I encourage everyone here who's listening to go, after you're done listening to this, go and listen to it. It takes a minute of your time, and it will change your life for the better. And then after you're done with that, you can go watch Tofu, who was also very encouraging. But they're all these encouraging videos. So why not have a virtual helper, your encourager, saying, you can do this. Only X number of spots or X number of sets, or, hey, we believe in you can do this. You've got this in you. You got this. You can do what you set out to do. That encouragement you set it for whatever your time frame of your workout is. Just really keep you motivated and going, especially when you're first starting out, where it can be really hard to keep yourself going until you get yourself into a routine.
Can Alan do this?
Yeah, he will be doing the recorded. Because again, we can't have this kind of Zoom call or on anything else. This would all be recorded on like a video or a stream, or like it could be a subscription service if you need a certain number of reps or a certain number of sets, whatever you need. But yeah, that's all I got.
All right. The first idea was the Jazzercise brush shoes. And I mean, number one, I'm curious to see what these shoes look like because some shoes are easier to jazzercise in than others, I'm assuming. I'm not a professional jazzerciser, but I'm sure there's a lot of hip thrusting and movements of the 80s.
Movements of the 80s. That sounds like one of those albums they used to sell. We've got movements of the 80s.
70s gold, movements of the 80s.
Exactly.
90s grunge.
Call now. Only $19.99 plus shipping and handling.
I'm putting this in the ideas pile just because I don't know what necessarily jazzercise movements are, if there are a lot of kicks or what's the type of cleaning that we're trying to do. I don't want to be kicking all the dust and particles in all random directions. What I do like, or for this idea though, is if we could do pool jazzercise where you put brushes on the bottom of your feet in the pool so you can scrub the bottom of the pool.
And weights on your waist so you can sink down to the bottom of the pool so you can hit the pool floor.
And do the pool floor.
And scrub the pool floor and then die for your efforts.
While jazzercising.
While jazzercising.
Fun and
for the whole
glory.
family.
So ideas, if it was pool shoes, I would say good ideas pile. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at on that one. The other one was the shake weight battery charger. I love this. You can charge your flashlight. So I put that one in the good idea pile. I like multi-purpose things. The exercise shock collar. I put that one in the bad idea pile.
What? How could that? Wow. It seems so reasonable.
I just don't feel like, your sweat builds up no matter what. I'm a sweaty beast, and I'm afraid that my shock collar is going to overly shock me to death because I'm sweaty.
How shocking do you think this would be? It runs off your rechargeable shake-weight batteries. I don't expect what you're expecting.
I went completely to death on this one. I had no voltage. I had no other thing otherwise.
It's not even in the bad ideas pile. It's in the death pile. This is just death.
I'm already twitching on the ground from being shocked from not making my workout. Yeah, that's how I felt about that one.
Fair enough.
The positive enforcement virtual friend guy. It's a good job for Alan. I like positive enforcement. I put that in the good ideas pile.
Let's do my sorting of Alex's ideas. Jazzercise brush shoes. This is an idea. I feel like you don't need jazzercise necessarily in order to utilize the shoes. I feel like if you just put on some good music and these shoes, you can kind of clean up a floor. Doing chores like cleaning is already a workout to some people. This would be a way to spice up doing your chores. So I'll put it as an idea leaning towards good idea. The shake weight battery charger. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really like this idea. I like any kind of green idea. And I used to use the shake weight. And that little exercise is no joke. They used to have like a video that you would follow. And my shoulders would be wolfing after it, doing like the little lady shake weight. I would do this in the privacy of my own home with the curtains drawn. I would not allow anyone to see me use the shake weight. But I like the idea that it's exercising with a purpose and you're getting something other than health and fitness out of the exercise. You're also getting an energy source.
Light.
So I will put that in the good ideas pile with the caveat that you would have to find a way to market it so that people don't make fun of it as badly as they did the shake weight. I feel like the shake weight made the money that it did from people buying it as a gag gift for other people. So as long as you can find a way to market this where it's taken seriously, I think it would be a great idea. The exercise shock collar, straight into the bad ideas pile. The reason I'm putting this straight into the bad ideas pile is that it's creating a negative relationship with the person who is exercising with exercising. So it's not like I'm exercising because I want to be healthier, I want to be better. I'm exercising because I don't want to be punished. I feel like it's an unhealthy relationship with exercising because when you first start working out, it sucks. It sucks so hard. But then as soon as you start seeing changes in your body, it becomes something that is no longer a chore, but something that you're actually looking forward to. And when you're exercising, endorphins are released and you get a better feeling about yourself and exercising. You get this healthy relationship. Yes, you had to struggle in the beginning, but that struggle kind of reinforces the positive relationship you have later on. You like, I've been through this hump. I know I can get through this next hump because I've already been through it. Throwing it down there.
In a way, so it just develops like Stockholm syndrome is the relationship you have with exercise.
That's marathon runners. Marathon runners have a Stockholm syndrome with marathon running. As someone who has run marathons, not everybody, but a lot of us, when you're running a marathon, you cannot wait for it to be over. You're like, oh my God, why did I do this? This was such a stupid idea. You cross that finish line and you cannot wait to sign up for another one. It is a weird, weird relationship. Yeah, that kind of situation does happen, but it wouldn't come with a shock collar for your virtual friend who inspires you. So a lot of video games that are fitness-based kind of already have this feature, but the problem with that is there's only like a set number of inspiring quotes that they say. They'll be like, come on, you can do it. 3 more. Good job. Way to go. Let's try to finish. And it's just the same sayings all over and over again.
Ooh, that would drive me nuts. I hate
that'd be
repeating.
awful.
Yeah.
This is something that's meant to be you have a specific set or time frame,
Yeah.
and it's a unique video for the entire thing.
I think there are some personal trainers that do this.
But that's like actually you're hiring someone to do their job just in a virtual sense. This is where these are pre-recorded with a certain amount of sets or a certain amount of time frame, whatever works best, but they are preset. It would be, if you do the same routine, it would get boring. You know, it's not meant to cost you $500 a session. It's something you buy once or sign up for a subscription if you need to have access to it, and you just use the ones you need.
Here's the thing. If that's what this is, I'm going to put it in ideas towards bad ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're looking for inspiration to get you going in your exercise and it's pre-recorded, and maybe the first few times you hear it, it'll kind of get you there, but after a while, it's going to lose its effectiveness.
Mm-hmm.
If our listeners are really looking for like a more supportive, encouraging thing, don't be afraid to go onto Facebook and find a fitness group on Facebook. I'm a part of a few fitness groups on Facebook, specifically for runners and specifically for fitness. And when you find a group of people who are all like-minded and you go on there and be like, hey, I walked a mile today, you'd be surprised how supportive some of these people are. Like, it's just a mile, but they make you feel like you just completed a huge task and a huge goal. So as a cheaper alternative, Facebook, I think it's an idea. It would be better if it was more personalized. You can, if you have the money and you can do it, my personal opinion would be go get a trainer. But if you're down on your luck, you don't have any money, you just need a little bit of a spark, I think your idea would be good. So that's my opinions on your ideas. So my fitness ideas. I like things that have multiple purposes. If I can develop an exercise machine that, one, helps you with your fitness and health, but two, accomplishes another task, then I'm going to like the idea. So I was at a big box gym and I was on a rowing machine. I noticed the rowing machine had a water tank that had a fan simulate rowing in water. And while I was using that rowing machine, I was thinking, could I do my laundry in something similar? So my idea is having a rowing machine that doubles as a clothes washing machine / dryer. So the rowing machine would be similar, but instead of a fan and instead of a water tank, I wanted to have a section that you could sit a tank on top of, a movable tank. And the reason it's movable, I'll get to in a little bit. So you add this tank on top of the rowing machine, and the movement of doing the rowing pulls on the base of this tank, which then would agitate on the inside. So you would put your clothes and you would put your water and your soap, you would do your rowing, it would agitate, it would clean the clothing, you would dump out the soapy water, add clean water, do a little bit more rowing, dump out the clean-ish water, and then you would put a different attachment on the rowing machine, which would be like a salad spinner. And then you would put your wet clothing into the salad spinner, row some more, that would make the salad spinner spin, and dry your clothes off, sort of. It's not perfect, I know this, but as a person that lives in an apartment building where the landlord doesn't have a washer and dryer, and during the pandemic, I was washing my clothes in the sink and in the tub, and having something where I could, one, exercise from home, two, not use any electricity or gas, and three, get clean clothes, I would love this machine. So that's idea number one, a rowing machine, washer / dryer. My second idea, I have neighbors below me and above me. I can't really have a treadmill in my apartment. I really can't do burpees. I can't do jump rope. I can't do jumping jacks. There's a lot of like cardio activities I can't do because it's just super loud. So I was sitting on my couch, and then it would be nice to have some home gym equipment, but it's always hard to find places to store things. Like I have a huge yoga ball, I have some weights, I have a bar, I have bands, I have a bunch of stuff. So my idea is having a couch, like a sofa love seat that reclines. And when you lift the legs up, there's a storage section underneath. And underneath would be a bench, some bars. On the sides of the armchairs would be sections for you to actually store your weights. When you want to do exercise, you lift up the sofa legs, which will have a hydraulic, so you can just pull them up and they stay up. You can go underneath, pull out the bench with all of its goodies. You can put the legs back down. You can do your workout. And it's a bench, so you can do step-ups. You can do chest press. You can do flies. You can do band work. You can do squats. You can do deadlifts. You have all this stuff you can do, and then you can neatly store it underneath the couch. Another feature of the couch is it's also a massage chair. Now, not like a high-grade massage chair, but something nice, like a warming feature, a nice little soft massage thing, something that you would like buy to put on top of your chair. Like, we're not talking about like what they have at certain gyms where it's like encompasses your legs and it really like goes to town on your back. That was my other idea, a fitness couch. So a potato couch gym is how I would market it.
Alex, what did you think about Kate's ideas?
Here's my thoughts. First, with the rowing machine / laundry machine. Because I know exactly what you're talking about. My only issue with it is the water dumping. Because basically having to put the water in this tub or the tank, you have to physically take it, get rid of it, or refill it. Or how do you actually get it out?
This wouldn't be for like a family of 4. That's
No.
for sure. And it wouldn't be for like big loads. So I'm thinking maybe a 5 and 10 gallon tub. 10 gallons would be at the very tippy top, I'm thinking. Where I'm thinking of utilizing is in our storage area in our apartment complex where we would have had a washer and dryer.
Yeah.
They do have those sinks. I'm thinking it wouldn't be too difficult to like take the tub off, which would have a lid, by the way, so it's not all splashy around.
Yeah.
So you just take it off of the base, dump it, and then you can fill it back up and then put it back on.
I mean, even with the lid, I'm still, part of me is imagining it just dumping everywhere. My first thought was you're doing this in your apartment, and then it's just like you're trying to do this 10-gallon tank, which is still not light, plus your clothes.
Yeah.
You're still trying to take this and bring it to your bathtub, because that would be the most efficient way to get rid of it.
Unless you use the hose with the siphon.
Yeah, you could.
Which is still a problematic. It's not easy.
But that's my thought on that.
Okay.
That's my biggest hang up is just that the water component, mostly getting rid of it. Filling it up's not too bad because you can use a hose or like something you could attach to a bathtub. That's not actually that hard.
Yeah.
It's just the waste or getting rid of it. I have to put in the ideas pile. Again, the biggest positive for me is that it's a rowing machine because I love rowing machines. If you could figure out a better water disposal that was easier and you're not lifting 80 pounds of water, as per our previous discussion, a gallon weighs about 8 pounds, 10 gallons, 80 pounds, plus the tank, plus the clothes. It's a lot of weight. The couch, fitness couch storage. I love the organization and space-saving stuff. I'm fully on board with that. Love the massage chair because just massaging is, chairs are great. One thing I'm worried about is like how tall the couch would have to be. Because normally when you have a regular couch, like unless it's a very stiff couch, in order to have enough room underneath, you have to have extra room for the seats to sink.
The bench wouldn't be very tall. And if you wanted a taller bench, I could make it so it had retractable legs and shit.
Then it's fine. Then it's just a good, nice amount of storage space underneath as long as it doesn't get in the way of anything. It's perfectly fine. I would put that in the good ideas pile for that type of thing because it serves exact purpose, saves a bunch of space. If there's anything that is a negative about it is that it's out of sight, out of mind a little bit. But that is a minor thing compared to the overall what is the purpose of what it does.
So why don't I do this then? On the couch, if you sit on it for too long, electric shocks would shock you out of the couch. So you couldn't sit on it unless if you exercise for a certain amount of time.
I love it. I think that's a wonderful,
one
of the best ideas I've heard all day.
All right, Ajax.
All right. Okay, so for the exercise rowing machine, water tank, washing machine / dryer, I think this is an idea so far. I like the multi-purpose use of it, and I always like another way to do laundry because there's always a lot of laundry. I just think in order for me to visualize it, I need an engineer to help me understand the washing machine / dryer.
Imagine one of those dryers that spins the clothing and
Got
the
it.
centrifugal force.
Centrifugal force.
Centrifugal force.
I'm having a stroke. Shut up.
Oh, that was my shot collar. Sorry.
I need to start exercising. I gotta go, guys.
So that's where I'm at on that one.
Okay.
For the 2-person love seat storage area for the bench and bars, I love it. I love that idea. I think that's a good idea, Pile. You got a place to store your bench and your bars. And if you don't see it after a while, you can do like a whole see-through couch, like how they had those like 90s phones with the the see-through inside. You can have a see-through couch, be like, oh, look, there's my workout area right there. But can you access it? Well, yeah. You have to lift up the legs to get in, but you can see it through the couch because it's like a plastic see-through couch.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So, yeah, I said idea pile and good idea pile.
Ajax, why don't you talk about today's sponsor?
Today's sponsor is Angry Nimbus Woodcraft at angrynimbus.com. If you go to the website, you can see that there's kitchen and culinary.
Angry Nimbus Woodcraft.
There's home decor and furniture.
Angry Nimbus Woodcraft.
There's bottle openers. There's custom wrist rests.
Angry Nimbus Woodcraft.
If your wrists are tired, then get wrist rests. They'll rest your wrists.
I can personally say that yes, Angry Nimbus Woodcraft wrist rests are not only stylish but supportive.
We also have a custom flight paddles that not only can hold cups of booze, but you can hold 5 cups at one time.
Angry Nimbus Woodcraft.
Look, we made it.
Thanks for listening.
Yes.
Please.
Yes, thank everybody.
Please subscribe, comment, like on any podcasting platform, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. If you have any topics that you want us to come up with ideas for, you can email us at ideasalldaypodcast@gmail.com. So thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.